Yeah, yeah. Boxing aficionados. What's up? What's going on? Hey, yo, check this out. As we await the ring walks of one Joe Smith and Arthur Beterbiev, I can't help but to talk about, or rather, I feel compelled to talk about the feature match accompanying that fight, pitting Robeisy Ramirez against Abraham Nova. This is a goodie, right? What you have there are the 3 Caribbean islands, right? Let me hear this, baby. What y'all know about that? Hey, yo, check this out. So as I was saying, this is a goodie pitting the 3 islands. The 3 islands, the 3 Caribbean Afro-Latino islands. The Machismo coming in that fight versus each other. Robeisy Ramirez from Cuba, straight up Cuban, right? Against Abraham Supernova, the Dominican / Puerto Rican. So here you have all these Antillan, de las Islas Antillanas, las 3 Islas Antillanas, going against each other. The Latino Fury, the Latino Machismo in the ring, promises to be exhilarating for however the fight lasts. Let's talk about it. Robeisy Ramirez, who Shakur Stevenson himself has said, and probably still says, I think he still says, is the best fighter he's ever faced. Shakur Stevenson speaks very highly of Robeisy Ramirez. The fight that they had in the Olympics, some say Shakur won, but Shakur doesn't feel that way. Shakur acknowledges that maybe he just didn't do enough to get that win. I always respected that kid for that. A lot of people laughed at him because he cried, and all I saw was the passion, the fury, and the fire that it takes for someone to become a champion. The hate of losing to the extent that it makes you crumble inside at the thought of being saddled with a loss. And I knew that Shakur Stevenson would be all the better for having suffered that loss. But this is not about Shakur. Let's keep it on the combatants tonight. Robeisy, who I believe TopRank signed for the purpose of getting him a fight versus Shakur Stevenson. They were trying to remake that fight again. That was where this fight was headed. Their careers were headed on a collision path until, right, Robeisy Ramirez, I'm just going to call him Ramirez, unfortunately, his amateur pedigree did not translate as well into the professional boxing ranks as easily as Shakur. Maybe he had the wrong people training him in the beginning. Maybe he couldn't handle the culture shock of being in the United States. For whatever reason, he shit the bed against Adrian Gonzalez on his, maiden voyage to the professional ranks. He quickly rebuilt himself. I think he is being trained by Ismael Salas now, I believe. Either way, I know he changed trainers and has acquired a more professional style dedicated to inflicting punishment. This is a man who still hasn't had 11 fights as a professional. So he went on to really show a display of power. I believe he has about 6 knockouts in 11 fights, or maybe 7. Went on a slew of knockouts, including the one he did in the UK. I believe it was on the Fury undercard. Yeah, on the Fury undercard. Put on a show where he basically dismantled a completely overmatched fighter. And now he's taking on the undefeated 21-0, 15 knockout Abraham Nova. Abraham Nova, who's the bigger fighter. We got to remember that Abraham Nova is coming into this fight as the weight bully. A guy who really should be fighting at 130 has decided to cut down to 126. He says it was in search of Emmanuel Navarrete, but Emmanuel Navarrete was not readily available to him. So TopRank, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to match the 9-1 Robeisy Ramirez against the 21-0 Abraham Nova. Now, Abraham Nova is a very impressive fighter. I like his style. But it's a power style based on him being the bigger fighter in the ring. And he was criticized for struggling against Avery Sparrow. Avery Sparrow, the slick Philadelphia fighter that stepped in the ring as a very, very tried and true veteran of the game. He had all the tricks in the bag, Avery Sparrow, and he used them to make Abraham Nova look very vulnerable. But these are the types of fights that are critical for young fighters to get, right? I think that was in his 15th fight or his 14th fight or so. He takes on Avery Sparrow and doesn't knock him out right away. He's a hype job. The criticism comes down. I didn't see it that way. I believed Abraham Nova did a lot better than Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley were giving him credit for. Abraham Nova landed the far harder punches and was, continuously on the attack. However, after that fight, he decided, and then got injured, he decided to come back from his injury as a featherweight rather than a super featherweight. So he cuts down from 130 to 126. And if you see the weigh-ins and the face-off between Robeisy Ramirez and Abraham Nova, the size difference is astounding. Abraham Nova is a big guy. It looks like they're fighting a bantamweight against a welterweight in there. Maybe I'm exaggerating just a bit, but not by much. And what I picked up from their face-off is that these guys understand the importance of this fight for each other's careers. It's a winner moves forward, fast-tracked to a belt. The possibility of facing Navarrete or facing a WBA champ, or, they're going to be fast-tracked. Their next fight after this will probably be for a strap at 126. Whether it's Navarrete or not, I'm not clear on. Perhaps it'll be another sanctioning body so that they can then unify against Navarrete if Navarrete decides to stay at featherweight. But that's neither here nor there. The fire that they looked at each other with, the desire that they had to inflict punishment on each other was clear. Abraham Nova, I believe, is seeing a little whippersnapper and saying to himself, this is the guy that they make such a big deal of? That guy can't hurt me. I don't care how good he is, how much flash, how much style, how much Cuban pedigree he has. I'm a big motherfucker. And ain't no way I'm gonna let this little guy beat me. I feel that Abraham Nova is coming with a purpose to force the fight to Robeisy Ramirez. And Robeisy Ramirez's reactions to Abraham Nova's attitude was also just as clear. Robeisy looked at Abraham Nova and says, boy, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. You think you're going to intimidate me with your size? You got another thing coming. I'm going to school you. I'm going to use your aggression against you. And I'm going to get you up out of there. I'm going to teach you a lesson that you will not ever in your life forget. So that's the backstory that I saw in that face-off. And it compels me to relay this message to y'all that fight is going to be just as good as Better Beef versus Joe Smith. Perfect co-feature. You heard it here first. Next Level Boxing Talk, a.k.a. Salsa y Boxeo. You heard? I'm out. Peace.